All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some Idaho 4 stuff. And one of the things that I want to point out, I think it is incredibly important to show you exactly how full of crap the mainstream media is on this. You see, with with many niches that have a parallel with alternative media and mainstream media, there's always that one incident where it breaks and it starts going two different directions. And you pretty much have what alternative media is saying and what the mainstream media is saying. And both things cannot be true. Now, in this particular case, both things could be true, but it's showing how lazy mainstream media has gotten in search of the truth. Now, there is a possibility that Brian Koberger could be responsible for the atrocity at 1122 King Road. However, it is incredibly unlikely. And it is on the media to hold those investigating this case accountable, to make sure that they are doing their jobs. And then you have people like we're going to take a look at today, like Ashley Banfield and Nancy Grace, those who have massive, massive platforms and have a very easy ability to hold those accountable and ramp up pressure and make Moscow PD, make Idaho State Police answer questions to make this make sense. But they're not doing that. They are just simply, oh, hey, they did it. Congratulations. Yeah, we got 100,000 questions, but hey, they did it. Yay. No. No. We need journalists, not cheerleaders. And that's what Ashley Banfield and Nancy Grace have become. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is Hildreth Media. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football, racing, true crime. Let's dive straight in, shall we? Ashley Banfield, first one up. And this is her, I think, reviewing the body cam footage.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Banfield and this is Drop Dead Serious. I've got
Drop Dead Serious. We're being real serious here.
Got something for you today that is very mind-blowing. I'm not going to lie.
Yes, it is. Very mind-blowing.
For 2.5+ years, we have been held under a gag order. We have been kept in the dark about everything that happened.
Well, legally should have been, but Moscow PD was leaking like an old faucet.
In the Idaho quadruple murder, and suddenly the body cam videos have been released. Law and Crime, the Law and Crime Network has gotten their hands on some extraordinary body cam of what it was like when the police first rolled up on the scene at 1122 King Road.
Yes, and a lot of questions popped up.
I'm not going to lie. I have been doing this job for a very, very long time, and I rarely feel the way I felt when I saw the police show up for the first time at a story.
Where's the girl with the Patriots jersey? Did you ask that question?
We now think we mostly understand. A lot of questions. I get it. We still have a...
I'm glad you mostly understand, because we have no freaking clue what the hell is going on. I mean, you see it right there. No Bethany Funk. Where is Bethany Funk?
a lot of questions. But when you see the very first moments of a story like this unraveling, where no one knows anything, I mean, the surviving roommates still don't know what exactly.
They know. They know. And again, one of the surviving roommates isn't even there.
Exactly has happened in that house. Who's alive? Who isn't? The police sure don't know what's happened as they roll up on the scene.
They sure took their sweet time to get there. At least from the car to Xana.
You see all of these kids in various states of nighttime dress. They're wearing shorts and pajamas, and it's November 13th in Idaho. It's cold outside. It's remarkable to see the police giving them blankets. It's remarkable to hear these first interviews, the first things coming out of their mouths, hearing.
Which were a lot of lies.
How distraught they are. And if there is anyone out.
Yeah, it's called acting. That thing you're doing right now.
There who's still a naysayer about Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, you need to hear the voices on these girls.
Yeah, we heard him. We heard him. A lot more questions rose than answers. But of course, you're not a you're not a journalist. You're not a reporter, Ashley. You are a cheerleader.
They are absolutely wrecked. They
again acting.
Have grief without even knowing how bad the grief is going to become. They are traumatized and terrorized before they even know how bad it is in that house.
They know. I mean, they know.
It is so incredibly telling to see the early offings of this crime as seen from the responding police officers who are learning it right along with us. So the very first thing you're going to see is the police officer who's first on the scene, who rolls up, gets out of his cruiser, grabs his kit from the trunk, and walks up to these kids who are out in front of a house who are clearly traumatized. And there's where the investigation begins.
So why would they be traumatized exactly? I thought it was just a person that was unconscious. Why would they be traumatized?
This first clip is the moment that police literally roll up on the scene, get out of the car, and approach the kids.
Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
Yes.
Where at? Up here?
Up here.
Now, why wouldn't you, if you're Hunter, as soon as you get around the door, and this is, and you're trying to protect the girls, why wouldn't you, as soon as the cop turns the corner, say, hey, it's an unaliving. I'm just trying to protect the girls the best I can. And it's not just one, it's two.
And I checked to see if she was breathing. And I didn't check him yet, but
I'm 13. Okay, do that.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. I really think they're in here. I grabbed them. They're like
1370. Okay, stay back there, please. Why aren't you securing the knife? You're on a scene that now looks like a stabbing. Have a kid with a knife, and you turn his back. You turn your back to him. But of course, Ashley's not going to ask that question. All right, we've already seen this point.
Preserve. Of course, one of the things that police officers have to do, even before they know what's going on, is they have to preserve the crime scene best they can. First, clear the crime scene, make sure that.
So why didn't, as soon as the cop saw what happened in Xana's room, did he not get Hunter out of there?
The threat is over, but then
how do you know the threat is over? There's a whole nother floor to look.
Preserve it. And so you're about to see the very first moments of the Moscow Police Department trying to preserve the crime scene by literally pulling the yellow crime tape from one end of the house around the front of it to the other, encountering kids and...
Yeah, okay, that's enough. That's enough. You can see that she's trying to tell a story. I mean, at the end of the day, that is what we do. We tell stories. But trying to embellish, trying to evoke emotion, sympathy for the roommates and others that are outside. That's what she's trying to do. And trying to shield them no matter what the evidence says. So, and then yeah, you got this lunatic. Good old Nancy Grace. Look how hard she's trying right here.
Tonight, Inside Hell, Hell, horrific new body cam video.
Wasn't, I mean, we get it. It's a living hell. It is it is a gruesome way to end the life of a person. But again, you're trying to evoke the wrong emotion.
Emerging inside the Brian Kohberger murder scene, and it reveals
there, Brian Kohberger. It was Brian Kohberger. No questions asked. Yeah, nothing of it makes sense. And we're completely ignoring the 47 stories told by the roommates. We're going to completely ignore that because they have their guy, and you need it. No more questions are needed.
The truth of what happened.
Yes, we want the truth of what happened. Problem is, Nancy, you're not looking for the truth. You're trying to push a narrative.
That night when 4 beautiful University of Idaho students were slaughtered in their own beds, the truth that
they were all awake. They were all awake. Which suggests they knew. They knew the person that took their lives. They knew who it was. Which eliminates Brian Kohberger.
apparently the elected district attorney did not want us to see before he worked a secret plea deal with Kohberger. This, as we learned tonight, Kohberger tried.
Okay. That wasn't why they were trying to cover that up. They're trying to cover up the fact that they botched this 8 Ways to Sunday and they were able to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Possibly thanks to University of Idaho grad Ann Taylor. Because the University of Idaho was jumping down Moscow PD's throat to get an arrest. You can see, going through the documents, everything changes when the name Brian Kohberger gets entered into the picture. Everything else gets pushed off to the side. Everything else gets ignored. Unless it has to do with Brian Kohberger. You see, you have the initial tower of the victims. Anna Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Haley Goncalves, and Madison Mogan. And then, as soon as that second name, and usually, and you see the first couple of days, it kind of branches out. We're looking at Jack D. We're looking at Hunter. We're looking at Jack Schulter. Looking at him, her. Looking at everybody. And then a name pops up of Brian Kohberger. Everything else gets stripped down. And now they try to build that gap and fit square pegs into round holes to make it fit and come together. They did a very crappy job because none of it makes sense.
Tries desperately to sell his car after he
Again, he could have been just simply car shopping. That's what people do. It is fun. It's fun to go window shopping.
He goes online and reads reports that a white Elantra has been identified near the crime scene.
Wait. Hold on, Nancy. Hold on. You mean to tell me that a criminology student is interested in a nationalized case about an unaliving that happened 15 miles away from him? What? No way.
We find out about damning searches on Kohberger's phone, where he searched for wiretap and psychopaths paranoid.
So this could be going down random rabbit holes, or he's trying to get into the mind of the person who committed the unalivings. That is literally what he is at Washington State for.
He goes back and forth to the Moscow PD website to learn the latest on the murders.
You mean he's interested? Oh my gosh. You know what? Throw everybody in jail for being interested in this case. Yeah, that's a lot of people. A lot of people.
And immediately after, he looks up auto detailing when they realize they're
Probably trying to learn more about a Hyundai Elantra. Usually people who own Hyundai Elantras aren't big car people. So it could just be simple as he's doing his own investigation.
onto his Elantra. 10 minutes later, he's online shopping for a new car.
Again, could be looking at the differences between 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17 Hyundai Elantras.
I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
All right. So, right there, I have shown you how they want to frame this. I've gone through each one of their points and destroyed them. They are trying to push a narrative. They are trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. because they're not interested in the truth. They're interested in holding up their narratives. Never once does Nancy Grace, Ashley Banfield, Brian Enton, they not only not question the 37 different stories that come out of Dylan and Bethany, they will go after anybody who questions it. Oh, it was shock, it was this, it was that. Well, and you saw Ashley Banfield reacting to the initial body cam footage. Never once does she question, where is Bethany? Because she's trying to uphold a narrative. Of course, Nancy Grace, she ain't gonna question anything. Not a single thing. Because, again, they're trying to uphold a narrative. And you have people, and some we may disagree, but you have people like Harsh Reality questioning things, legitimate things, and he's getting backlash. You have Birdie with his Birdie bombs questioning everything. He's getting a lot of pushback. You have Lana from Truth and Transparency questioning things. And you have people like Pavoratti questioning things. Those four are the people that I would direct you to actually look at this case, to actually follow this case. Because those four are interested in the truth. Nancy Grace, Brian Enton, Ashley Banfield, they are only interested in upholding their narrative. And that is why the ratings are dropping. Everybody's turning to Lana, to Birdie, to Harsh, to Pavoratti. They are, and that's why they are growing. And yes, you're going to have the old heads going to Nancy Grace, going to Ashley Banfield, going to Brian Enton. You're going to have the people that are afraid to question turn to those three faux journalists. Because they want to believe that the police are good and they did their job. When the fact of the matter is, Moscow PD and Idaho State Police, they didn't. Go watch Lana's document reviews. There are hours upon hours of them. She blows holes through absolutely everything. That does not make sense. She is incredibly intelligent, incredibly knowledgeable. The links to all four of these incredible people will be down below. And it's frustrating to see people like Nancy Grace, 743,000 subscribers. Ashley Banfield, 226,000 subscribers. See, Brian Enton, 159,000 subscribers. They have the platform to actually light the fire under Idaho State PD and Moscow PD to actually get the truth. But again, they're not interested in the truth. They're interested in upholding the narrative. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is Hildreth Media. See you guys.